Coming to you live from the Twerking Studios. It's the Sons of Honarchy podcast at 8 a.m. on a fucking Sunday because that's my life. It's one of your co-hosts at Drunk Shy Sox Fan. That's Steve-O.
And Hot Take Tommy. Good Lord, Steve, take a seat. Oh
Booty,
my!
booty,
On
booty,
the
booty,
Lord's
rocking
Day.
everywhere.
On the Lord's Day of all days.
It's a day of rest.
Anyway, on this episode of the Sons of Honarchy podcast, we are going to be talking about managerial malpractice. Thank you, Herb Lawrence, for that one.
Herb, no, it wasn't Herb. It was Lawrence
What?
Holmes.
Oh, yeah, it was. Well, now it's all bad. It's all bad to start. They used to work together. Anyway, all this brought to you by Just Us. So, rate, subscribe, and review.
We are on a fucking roll already.
Terrible out the gate.
Billy, you didn't get to see Sack. I'm sorry. Thank you for tuning in live, but you did get to see me stand up on my rolling chair, not break my shit, and twerk right into the camera for you this morning. So you are welcome.
Thanks a lot, Billy.
It's gonna be a fun morning. We got about an hour before I need to roll. So let's hop right into it, baby. It's a busy day for me, Tom. Do you want to break the news why?
You are going to be on the CHGO podcast, pre-gaming it. Are you doing post as well?
I am doing the pre and post game with CHGO's finest host, Sean Anderson. You can follow him on Twitter at Sean SEAN_W_Anderson.
Got all those underscores.
All the underscores between each Sean W and Anderson. So, yeah. Oh shit! Billy is in the comments and saying exactly how I'm feeling. I'm very, very, very excited.
And you're not even that show. You're not just like phoning in either. You're gonna roll up to the West
studio, baby. I'm very, very pumped.
Yeah, they didn't want me to go.
No, well, they did. Sean reached out and he said, "Hey, you should invite Tommy too." I don't know why this just crossed my mind, and I was like, "Don't worry. When people think about the Sons of I'm kidding.
Well, anyway, it was last minute, and I've got plans out in the burbs with my family, so say lovey. But no, we're really excited. We're really fucking excited.
Exactly. Thank you. I'm glad you're excited for me. And let's be real,
always.
You're about to become the face of the Suns. And I'll break that news later at the end of the podcast. Yes, I know. I need to be careful, Jim, for those that still have morning wood. Like yourself. Tom, tell me a little bit about your week before we talk White Sox baseball shit.
Oh, I'm out here just trying to get used to the new job. Work sucks. I know.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
Exactly. But I'm kind of feeling like I this is the thought that crossed my mind this week, is that I think I might need to get back on this White Sox run club shit. Like, I haven't run a fucking mile since we did the 108
that's hilarious
miles.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Miles from the new year through opening day of baseball. I did that and I haven't run a mile since. And I'm
glad you brought that up. I went for my first run in over a month. Yeah, on Friday, and my legs are so fucking sore still. Okay. I didn't run fucking Olympic pace either, like you guys think. I mean, I did 3 miles, hair over 3 miles in 19 minutes and 22 seconds or something like that. Yeah, I can look up that official time, but I mean, it's decent. 19 minutes, 22 seconds on the dot. So,
Jim, good for you.
Yes.
You woke up early. No one cares.
Yes, you woke up early. No one cares, Jim. But I'm thinking about doing this run your socks off 5K, Tom. What are you laughing about? Oh, yes. The comment section with Carrie. Go ahead, read that one, Tommy, without laughing.
Carrie out here, ironic, saying a hair over 3 miles for Steve because, Steve, you're bald. Do you get it?
I mean, you all saw the chest hair the other day when I posted the tattoos on Twitter. So
that's true. That was pretty exciting.
Brand new ink. You saw
very
that
exciting
as well.
For a lot of people. Yeah, I saw the ink bag. I didn't actually see the ink in person, but
Oh, hold on. Live showing some partial nudity for everybody.
I love that.
Some more. So
okay, but you want to do the run your socks off 5K? When is this again?
It is August 7th, I want to say.
Let's put it on the calendar.
August 7th. So they just bumped up the price, I think, like $10 yesterday. But it goes to a charity. It goes to charitable cause. So maybe it's the Jerry Reinsdorf 401k. But
yeah, I mean, let's be honest. He's just gonna write off. It's going to charity so that he can write it off and not pay taxes.
There you go. Thanks a lot.
We love billionaires on the podcast. Anyway,
the Austin Powers chest hair. Yes, I agree, Carrie. That would be a good vibe for me. I'm thinking more like Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees. That's really talking it up on the Barry Gibb talk show.
You did not expect that this morning on White Sox baseball podcast, but yet here we are.
Yes, but I did not invent the White Sox Run Club. That would be the gatekeeper who invented the White Sox Run Club, not me. So.
Unbelievable.
All right, so maybe we should look into that, Tom. That might be a fun event for us.
Definitely early August. Let's do it.
Yep. Well, hey, Tom, we are a White Sox baseball podcast, so should we talk a little bit about White Sox baseball?
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be the idea behind this whole thing.
Absolutely. Tom, what are your thoughts on the team so far this past week or so?
Okay, so we had ourselves a winning week of baseball.
We did.
Ladies and gentlemen.
It's nice to watch.
Unbelievable. But I would say I'm still not into it. I'm not convinced. I'm this comment section this morning. It's like
I know. Well, when you get Jim, Billy, and Carrie, this is fantastic.
It's wild. No, but I'm not convinced with this team. I'm really not.
Ooh.
Like I'm not excited. I'm not really amped about it. I see the team. I'm excited. I'm watching them win, and I'm excited that like there are games in the win column. However, not convinced.
What is not convincing to you?
The team is dead, bro. Like I will say I got to give credit where credit's due. Yesterday, in efforts to kind of save the win streak, you had an 8th inning, like a couple guys get on base until Gavin couldn't catch up to the 100-mile-an-hour heater.
Well, yeah, the 100-mile-an-hour heater over the plate that he couldn't hit, which is his pitch to hit, and he still can't hit it. And then he strikes out on a fucking back foot breaking ball.
Yeah. No, it was that was very not good. But I will there was some fight in that. And then in the 9th inning, you had Engel with 2 outs, get a single, and then Timmy, mind you, he grounded out, but he was booking it to first, trying to prolong that rally and get something going. There's some life there. However, I'm never gonna get over the fact that there was 0 pimping done on the Luis Robert Grand Slam. 0 pimping of a Grand Slam into the second deck. Man doesn't give a shit.
Here's the thing.
Doesn't give a shit, bro.
Nah, I don't even know if it's that. It's the fact that you look at the numbers this year and, well, records wise, just based on record alone, the Twins have been kicking the White Sox ass this year. Okay, when you break it down, they really haven't. The White Sox have been kicking their own ass. And that, I mean, defensive mishaps outside of, the offense finally exploding. Defensive mishaps could have really kicked their ass on Friday. But luckily the Adam Engel 3-run bomb was a big time insurance for them.
Oh, yeah.
When the team was only up 3-2 and Adam Engel goes yard. Luis Robert gets benched for his, I don't know what's going on, lightheadedness.
Yeah, that was a weird tweet to see. I was like, oh, so is he gonna
yeah, I'm really curious.
Danny Farquhar or some shit. I was actually nervous about that.
For the love of God, no. But I think today is just, and maybe it's because I'm hyped up for today's game so much. I think today is really important. I think they need to go into the All-Star break on a win at 500. What have I been saying this entire time too, Tom? In order for them to have a shot, They
got to be 500 at the break. Yeah,
absolutely. So I'm optimistic about this team. I mean, you took 4 in a row against division opponents. So it's teams. 2 in Cleveland, 2 in. They're the teams that are ahead of you in the division. You got to go take care of fucking business. So you take 2 the 2 in Cleveland. You take the first 2 in Minnesota. You lose yesterday, but you got a little dog in you, a little dog, a little bit of fight. And we were talking about this, and shout out to Alex Rude, Stat Boy, for bringing this up on the CHGO podcast on Thursday afternoon. I think he brought it up in the pregame. Maybe he brought it up in the postgame. Can't remember. The two are meshing together, and I was drinking. If you take away the Dallas Keuchel starts for this White Sox team after yesterday, I did the math and I double checked. This is correct.
You did the arithmetic. Let's be honest.
I'm not a big math guy. Big brain here, not a math guy. -1 run differential for this team. If you take away the Dallas Keuchel starts going into today,
the whole season,
for the entire season. Very, very pumped about that. There's still some optimism to hang our hat on here. And especially if they win today, you just carry out that momentum, baby. And I know you can't measure that, but I said 500, especially with the schedule that they've got going ahead of them. This is where they need to be.
Dude, oh shit. Hi, how are you?
Oh, Tommy's phone goes off per usual. On brand.
Well, either way, I think your time was up, right? In like giving
yes, you were putting me on a timer to shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up timer, Steve. Justifications galore for this team. Sure, call it that.
Right, and I think I'm with Carrie on this. It's like, I don't know, man. I'm usually the perpetual optimist on this team or about this team, and I'm just not feeling it, man. Like they're dead in the water, my guy. As long as Tony La Russa is in that dugout, I don't have a good reason to think that this team is gonna turn around.
Well, let's talk about why this podcast is named what it is today. Managerial malpractice, right?
Yes. Okay. So Charlie Montoya, he got fired, right? Yeah. Whether or not there was managerial malpractice going on there, but that's both Joes, Girardi and Madden, gone, and Charlie gone, all in this season, during the season. Old ass managers keep getting the boot, and La Russa is still here. La Russa is still here, holding on to his fucking job. I'm sick of it, man. I really am. I thought that we would have the chance to give him the boot in the All-Star break, but we played ourselves into a situation where we're not going to fire him after he just got, 4 wins in a row, right? Like, I'm just saying, like, if we lost every game until the All-Star break, we would have absolutely had the chance to fire this guy.
You just want Tony gone. That's the problem. I think that's the problem with half of the people that we interact with on White Sox Twitter or in our White Sox universe. We want Tony La Russa gone, and we want him gone basically at any cost. I'm not ready to give up on the 2021 season yet just to get rid of Tony La Russa, okay? I think that and you're going to talk about this in a little bit, but the Kenny Williams pep talk in the locker room, I think, is going to do this team justice. Well, I think it's going to bring this team together. I think it's going to wake them up. Yes, it's really scary that Tony doesn't know what's going on. But as White Sox fans, and even people outside of the White Sox universe, particularly the people who I talk baseball with most outside of you, who are Ryan Ferrucci and Adam Wessendorf, right? They know it. They already knew this. They're like, Tony is so off. They've known that Tony is off since the 3-0 home run Yermin Mercedes shit, okay? That was the most alarming thing to them. And then on top of that, you throw everything else into that. And they're like, yeah, Tony is fucking off big time. And that's not just, and they always criticize me, always, no matter what I say. They're like, look at it from this angle, Steve. Look at it from this angle. They're like, no, you're absolutely right about La Russa. It's nationally known that La Russa is fucking up, right?
Yes. But I think what you do not give credit to is that this is a newer narrative that the entire national media is aware of now. Like we've known it for a while, but it's been unsubstantiated rumors for the most part, right? That like there's a lot of Twitter conversations about how he's not quite with it. There was, Steve, you brought this one up. There was a James Fegan tweet in May.
Yeah. It was the end of April, beginning of May, when the White Sox went on that huge losing skid. They lost 10 of 11, and the team was defeated apparently in the locker room, right? Everybody had their heads down, and somebody, I think he may have said like, obviously they're in a losing streak, so they're not happy because they're losing. But it was more than that. That was what was on the surface, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was way more than that underneath the surface.
And it was all stuff that's, again, still unsubstantiated, like, hearsay at best when you talk about how the team isn't rallying around each other and there's like problems in the clubhouse. And even then, right, a lot of the things that we would say were, well, just wait till Eloy gets back. Eloy's the heart, like, and soul, right?
I could have told you that's a no, number one. I never bought into that. And then on top of that, Eloy can't stay healthy. No. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And I'll criticize everybody else who was like, no way we're trading Eloy. We should trade Eloy for Jazz Chisholm. Number one, Kim Ng was never going to do that.
No.
But number two, if she was, you absolutely send it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, Eloy cannot stay healthy. I mean, he's a less athletic, get injured Byron Buxton. Really, honestly. Despite the team-friendly contract, you would still get like Jazz for what, like this year and 3 more. I digress. That brings up it's a moot point. It's a moot point. Yeah. And one thing that also isn't happening is Tony La Russa getting fired.
Okay? Well, but again, Steve, this is the thing. Like, it's now a national perspective. As of last week, Eno Saris went on. Well, first of all, Bob Nightingale tweeted out that there's issues in the clubhouse. Ahead of that, Kenny Williams, he was the one who broke the news that Kenny Williams on July 11th, last Monday, Steve, again, this is new shit that's starting to snowball here. Kenny Williams is in the dugout talking to the team. Then Eno Saris this last week, another national reporter, talks on his 3-0 show, his Athletic Baseball Network podcast, whatever. He talks about how the vibes are off and that he has a specific report. The thing about all of this has been that, there's rumors and stuff like that about how Tony's not really aware of what's going on. But there's a specific report now about how he was about to walk through a hitting meeting and another person in the clubhouse had to be like, Tony, you can't go there right now. Like, there's a specific report out there now from Eno Saris about that event where he's like, he really doesn't know what's going on. Like, before it's like, oh, Twitter so-and-so says the guy looks lost in the dugout. Yeah, you could say that about a guy who's got a weird face on camera, but you catch somebody on camera at the wrong time, they could look lost anywhere, right? Like, this is now becoming real in my eyes and in the eyes of the national media, which I think is more important than, the fact that White Sox fans have been telling everybody that would listen that this is a bad hire from the start. It's becoming real is what I'm saying. And I think it can snowball to a point where Tony La Russa is in a bad light nationally, and your man Jerry might want to bail out the team.
Here's the thing. When it comes to I don't buy it, because when it comes to national narratives and drama, when has Jerry Reinsdorf ever given a fucking shit? Ever? When it comes to not just and I'm not talking about the White Sox. You watched The Last Dance, right?
Yeah.
Please tell me. Yeah, you watched The Last Dance. Okay. we got Scottie Pippen, right? in his contract negotiations.
Yep.
Now, you think that this La Russa thing is a stink?
Right. That's fair.
The Bulls were fighting for their 6th championship in 8 fucking years, right? Their second three-peat. And Scottie Pippen is your solidifying force for an aging Jordan, right? Mm-hmm. And he, Pippen was starting to get up there too in years. But your number 2, your Robin to Batman, is saying, I want the fuck out of Chicago. Fuck this organization. Fuck Jerry Reinsdorf's cheap ass. Phil and I don't see eye to eye. Michael and I are fire and gasoline. And what happened? Nothing happened. Pippen stayed. They won their championship, right? Jerry's not going to budge, especially since he's already fired Tony. He's not going to make that quote unquote mistake again. Even though it was Kenny Williams who really made, or not Kenny Williams, pardon me, Hawk Harrelson. I was thinking of other Kens. It was Hawk Harrelson who eventually made the decision, the final decision, I think, on La Russa. But whether it be Tony being lost or his early onset dementia, as Billy Wires is mentioning.
Again, unsubstantiated. You can't it's okay. Anyway,
it's not going to happen. And he's not, unless it's La Russa saying I quit.
Yes,
he's not leaving.
That's the thing I was going to point out is that
better chance I get a one-way train ticket. Oh my gosh, I'm not even going. I'm not even going to read that. Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you, Carrie, for your contribution. But again, there's Jerry. He doesn't give a shit about the national media. I grant you. But Tony La Russa does a lot care about national perception of him. The first question he had before he took the job was, is this going to hurt my Hall of Fame? Right? The answer was no. And so he was like, yes, I'll take the job then. But he is on record saying that he would not have been taking this White Sox job if it put his Hall of Fame record in jeopardy. So
he's already a Hall of Fame manager. He's a Hall of Fame baseball guy.
He's a Hall of Fame baseball person. And
person.
And look, that's Tony. He gives a crap about his perception, his legacy, his history. He doesn't care as much about, the here and now.
Better chance of him quitting, like I mentioned. So,
but again, it's snowballing to the point where it is embarrassing for him. And he may well take care of it himself, walk off the job, or talk to it would have to be a mutual parting of ways, right? It's not going to be he was relieved of his duties situation.
Yeah. Well, I know you love speculation, so I'll just throw this out there. It's already starting to look, and maybe this is another reason for the success. It seems like the rest of the bench has been a lot more active. In regard to bench, I mean the coaches. So I've seen Miguel Cairo a lot more on camera and talking to players in the last month than I did the first couple months of the year. I've seen Ethan Katz more active in regards to making the choices of when pitchers are staying in and coming out than I did at the beginning of the year or last year. I think Tony's been asked by Kenny and Rick, call it speculation, but especially after that locker room meeting, I think that he has been told, you just be the face and we'll take care of it from here.
Yeah, I would say that is definitely wild speculation. However, I like it. I like it a lot.
There we go.
Now, again, back to the Kenny Williams conversation. Team's 4-2 since then, and that's the 600 winning percentage that you were looking for, right?
Yes, indeed. So even better, 667. So that's 67%. You win 2, you lose 1. That's what the White Sox need to start doing, especially with that weekend schedule. And I know I'm making justifications again, but I really think it's possible. I really do. I'm not ready to give up on this team yet. Check in with me at the trade deadline. I'll tell you that much. I'll definitely have a show. I'm gonna be fucking gung ho or ready to burn this shit.
Trade them all away. We don't need this team anymore. Well, speaking of you being excited again, I got to bring it down with my bone to pick.
Oh, baby. Here we go. Bone to pick.
So, Luis Roberts Grand Slam. And I mentioned it already, right? But zero fucking celebration. I don't know if I'm mad at Luis or if I'm mad at the team or what. But look at this. People immediately after all this conversation about their clubhouse being dead took a video of Jose Abreu sliding around in the dugout, joking around, and said, "Look, this team is having a great time. What the fuck are you talking about?" If you look at that fucking clip of Jose Abreu sliding around in the dugout in Minneapolis, you'll see Tony La Russa turning around, about to basically, first of all, he looks like he's wondering what the fuck is happening. So there's a problem there. But he also looked like he was about to say something like, "Hey, don't do that." And then you look on the other side of the dugout, you got Josh Harrison trying to put him like, tamp it down. Like he's trying to tell him to stop fucking around. What the hell? Like the clubhouse is not cohesive. The clubhouse is not wanting to have fun. Like there's problems, bro. There's problems. I'm not ready to sell out on the fact that, Jose Abreu's smiling and sliding around, and he was fucking around in the dugout again yesterday. But again, like the team's dead, bro. Like there's no celebration. There's no joy on the field. Something's wrong. Something's seriously wrong. And yes, I got a bone to pick, not just with Luis not celebrating. I've also got a bone to pick with all those assholes out here that are tweeting out that video as definitive evidence that the team is not broken. Like, what the hell is that?
You think it's the opposite? All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I do.
You know what? I'll let you have that take, Tom.
Oh, you'll allow it?
Let me ask you this question. You played volleyball in high school. You were on the volleyball team at Maine South High School. Tom, did you ever go through losing streaks?
I was mostly involved in losing streaks.
Okay, this is good to know. How did the team feel? What was the team feel like when you were going through losing streaks?
Well, it wasn't great. A lot of what the fuck is wrong here kind of conversations.
What the fuck's wrong here? Not feeling great. Okay, that's what this team is, okay? They're one game below 500. They're fighting today to be at 500 at the All-Star break. If I would have told you, and that's the thing, these players, that they're supposed to have, that short-term memory, like, hey, forget about what happened yesterday, go and do what happens today, right? But they can look and they can see where they are in the standings, right? Mm-hmm. This team wasn't supposed to be where they are. They were supposed to be leading this division by at least 5-6 games at the All-Star break, right?
Yeah.
And right now they are not. Okay? They're in third place. You got to keep that in mind when it comes to this morale thing. And yes, I agree with you partially in regard to the morale being down. But we have to think about the reasons why the morale is down. It's because they are vastly underperforming, right? And they need to lighten up a little bit. Take a page out of Jose Abreu's book because, hey, look at Jose's numbers. He's hitting really well this year, and he's doing. Say
it again, Steve, for the people in the back.
And he's doing what he has not done in the past. He's walking. He's fucking walking, and everybody can fucking take a page out of that fucking book this year. Jesus Christ. On that note, I've got a real bone to pick as well, Tom.
Oh man.
Yes, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to drop some music
the actual
myself.
Audio. Yes, right.
Exactly. You can do some audio editing later on that one.
Yeah, that was a little tinny, I will say.
Yes. Sorry. Best I could do right now. I need the audio board. I need the Chris Tannehill audio board.
Just hire Chris Tannehill in general.
Indeed.
Maybe a little bit out of our pay grade.
A little bit outside of our budget. Boy, oh boy, my bone to pick today. I got a lot to bitch about. The Minnesota Tees, usually. And you know how I call them Minnesota Tees. It didn't help that a couple weeks ago I also had a bone to pick. Or was that last week? It was last week when I had my bone to pick with Joel about Gio Urshela being better than Yoan Moncada.
You've been going off on these guys.
I need to put him on my LMB list for that.
Nicest guy, the fucking nicest guy we know. You're gonna put him on the LMB list.
He's great, but he deserves to be on the LMB list for that one. Not only do Minnesota Tees, do I not only hate your franchise and you stink in the playoffs, which is actually something I love about them. But let's look at the celebration that they had yesterday, retiring the number of one Jim Kotz. Mm-hmm. Now, listen, I get Jim Kott as one of those best pitchers in their franchise history because they suck, and he had some longevity, a lot of gold gloves as a pitcher.
Yes.
Yeah. Valuable.
Keuchel had some
super
gold gloves.
Exactly. Super valuable. He wasn't even that phenomenal when you look at his career numbers, but I digress. The fact that his number is retired so close to the comment that he made about Yoan Moncada, about his
40 acres of Yoan Moncada.
Yeah. We could get a field full of 40 acres of that guy. That would be great. Not a good look, Jim Kott. Comment that he made on MLB Network. He did apologize actually that day about it, which
apologize in fucking quotes though. He was reading something.
I appreciate it, but yeah, no, it was definitely one of those like, hey, our PR guy needs you to read this one. Yeah. It's a bad look. Not to mention, it's for the Minnesota Twins, who have been an organization that's been very out there and loud about their dedication towards social justice.
Right.
Especially after the murder of George Floyd. They had the big Black Lives Matter in their outfields. I think that was the right center field or right field. After that occurred in 2020. It's just a really bad look to the fact that they did it on the day that they're playing the team where Yoan Moncada's on, you know?
Yeah. That was a gaffe. Like, they should have at least looked at the goddamn schedule.
Right.
Like,
yes. It's just whether it call it gross negligence.
Yeah.
But it's so bad, and they got to be better. I'll leave it at that.
No, I really like that. You know, it felt off that they were retiring Cat's number, right? On that day, Cott's number, whatever the fuck. Yeah. But it didn't like click for me why it was like, in my mind. And then the fact that you were like, yeah, that comment was like last year in October, and they're retiring the number now with Yoan right there, like in the dugout. What the fuck is going on? Like, why? It would have been as simple as like he could have retired the number last week or next week or, you know, within the opening week of baseball or some shit. Like, why did they wait?
A day when Yoan Moncada's on the field.
Exactly. Like, why did you wait that long? So that did you want Yoan there? Like, is that what you wanted, Minnesota?
Like I said, I hope it's just gross negligence. I hope somebody wasn't fucking trolling with that. Yeah, and Yoan Moncada going 3 for 4 yesterday made me feel real good about it too.
Absolutely.
Thank God. So
makes it better. Now, that actually rolls pretty well into, because that was bone to pick-esque, but also kind of Minoso Minute-esque. And
yes, absolutely.
I do have Minoso Minute. And as you all know, we like to take time every once in a while to, you know, talk about things outside the lines of baseball. And we honor the late Minnie Minoso, Hall of Fame Minnie Minoso, with the name on the segment because he broke the color barrier for Afro-Latino players for the White Sox. And we're proud of that. So here we go. Kansas City Royals. 10 of them couldn't make the trip to Toronto because they are unvaccinated. And genuinely, First of all, that's double digits. How is that even possible, bro? Like something is wrong there where they're probably, I would say that the Royals clearly have not been encouraging their players to do anything about this, which is one thing. Now, I wouldn't even give these guys the time of day if it weren't for the fact, like, I wouldn't want to talk about this because we've beaten this dead horse over and over and over again, right? Like, everybody knows that there are people that are just not going to get vaccinated, and that's that. And, it sucks. Science says otherwise, but whatever. They're going to do what they're going to do. And we kind of have to live with that, unfortunately. So I wouldn't have even brought this up, but I got to give a shout out to the social media guy or gal for Kansas City, because as soon as they announced the news that they're like making roster moves ahead of the Toronto series, they said they're dropping 10 guys in advance. And of course, that Brad Keller was on that list. That. Of course he was. Amongst others. I don't want to go down the name because it's literally 10 guys. As soon as he posted the news that they were making all these roster moves, the Kansas City Royals verified account said the following: the Royals have hosted multiple free COVID-19 vaccine events for the community and encourage all to be vaccinated and safe so we can live our fullest lives in and away from the ballpark. For more information, visit link to CDC website regarding COVID-19 vaccination. Yeah. What the literal fuck? Like, how could you have a verified account subtweeting their own players? And best part, the first game in Toronto, Kansas City won. Looks like you didn't need those 10 players after all. Bunch of fucks.
Good old Missouri. Sorry. Thank you, Carrie, for that comment in the chat. I had to say it nice and loud. Yeah, it's nuts. Come on. And Whit Merrifield made a comment. I don't know if it was quoted in The Athletic or whatever. It was some sort of sports related article. He said something along the lines of, I didn't want to take the risk. I didn't feel personally affected by it, so I didn't want to take the risk. Motherfucker, this ain't about you.
Exactly.
It's about everybody else.
The vaccine has never been about you. It's about who you could potentially endanger. That you don't know. You don't know. It's a social, it's a civic duty in my eyes.
Yeah, it's fucking selfish. And it's one of those things too where I can't wait eventually down the road where the COVID-19 vaccination becomes the next MMR vaccination, And everybody has to shut the fuck up about it.
Yep.
It's gonna take a new generation for that, but yeah, it's gonna become the next thing. It's gonna take our generation probably to be in office, and then so wait another. I don't know. We really like old ass politicians, so give it another 50 years.
We really like Tony La Russa. He's 70, so.
Oh jeez.
I don't know.
Tom, on a lighter note, should we wrap this thing up with our final segment today?
Yeah, we're supposed to be happy, right? We're happy.
Yeah. We're happy. I am. Go White Sox.
Go White Sox. Okay, so a little game time. We got this or that for you, Steve.
So you can get with that.
Get with this. Yes. So the deadline, it's kind of far away because it's not in July anymore. It's in August 2nd. So we got some time. However, there's some interesting things out there that, everybody's been talking about. So let's get into them, right? Mm-hmm. So we got two names we'll do, or we got a list of names. We'll do two at a time and we'll go this or that. We got trade fours. We got trade aways to go through, all sorts of stuff. Now, Steve, first and foremost, this is an interesting one. We got two outfielders.
It's not interesting to me at all.
It's very interesting. And I'll tell you why. We got Jock Peterson, who we talked about last podcast, and he is very good right now, especially. Or Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo of the New York Yankees.
Here's the thing. I can see you have a screenshot on our. We use notes, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Just want to let you know. We're not totally off the cuff.
Can't totally tell usually, but
exactly. I promise you that if I am ever in person with special people, I will not stare down at my phone. That's a jab at somebody. Subtweet. From anyway. Gallo or Jock, and I told you this isn't even a competition. I don't know why you have a StatCast screenshot of Joey Gallo. It's Jock. He's contract friendly. I mean, they're both contract friendly, but he's the hot player. You don't have to give up as much. The White Sox need a power lefty bat that's actually hitting and isn't just streaky, going to give you a homer every now and again. It's Jock. Jock should have been on this team in 2020. Okay. I've talked about this last time. What do you got to say to this? You said this is interesting, but
this
go ahead.
Is interesting. Okay. So we all know that Joey Gallo has not really performed up to expectations out in New York, and he's a lefty power bat. The Sox love lefty power bats for a good reason, because the ballpark plays to that advantage. US Cellular, I'm talking about. Sox Park, guaranteed rate, all of it. G-rate. But it's not worked out well at Yankee Stadium, which, again, it plays well to lefty power bats. However, Joey Gallo remains in the 97th percentile in barrel percentage, the 90th percentile in max exit velocity, the 88th percentile in hard hit percentage, and the 98th percentile in walk rate. Ignore the fact that he's in the first percentile of expected batting average. The singular, he's got the lowest expected batting average.
He's not going to hit for contact, okay?
It's not going to happen.
Contact hitter.
Ignore that, right? Lefty power bat, get him out of a situation that's not working for him right now.
Not everybody can handle New York.
Yeah, there's that, like, Sonny Gray is doing a little bit better now that he's out of there, right? Like there's several examples of this. We don't have to go down the list, but get Joey Gallo out of New York, get him at Sox Park. We might have ourselves something pretty cool. All that to be said, it's interesting. Jock is still definitely the better player.
Yes.
The bit about it, though, is this, and I think, like, we would both prefer Jock, and you say that he'd be cheaper. However, there's a lot of conversation around New York that says just get Gallo off the roster. If somebody will just pay his contract, even just get rid of him, right? So if that's the case, you could get Gallo for just cash or whatever, and hey, you're not giving up shit. I think you really sell, Farhan's I-82 short, and you consider a lot, Steve. And you're going to say this later on, I'm sure of it, because you always do. You don't have to give anything for this guy. You always have to give something for somebody. You just do. So I don't know what that would be, but there is conversation at least coming out of New York saying that just take his contract and we'll let him go because he sucks right now. Just saying, it's interesting.
He is a rental. And they're both rentals is something to think about. Rentals, even unless it's all like superstar type player, Juan Soto.
Who denied a $440 million contract extension. He was like, no, thanks.
Good for him.
Okay.
Good for him is all I'm going to say. I know that's crazy for me to say that, but good for him.
It's insane.
I think he's going to get his $500 million payday.
No, Steve.
He's going to have to sign his life away for it, but he's going to get that He's going to get that the 490, 500. I really think so. No, not 20 year, but 15-year contract.
Miguel Cabrera 2.0.
Yeah, I'm going to take the better player that is this year. I'm going to take the better player in 2022, and that's Jock. I'm also going to take the team that's selling. So,
yeah, it's a
despite the rumor mill around Jock or around Gallo. Yeah,
I don't know, man.
Definitely selling. Come on, man. I don't care about these miracle wins that they had against Milwaukee with Hader giving up what 6 runs.
Is it really a miracle if a team's able to get 6
Hader,
runs off?
Okay, Hader, the Hader thing is not a miracle. I think Hader's actually starting to fall off big time. And then the balk off though, basically. I mean, it was in the 8th inning, but game-winning balk yesterday for San Fran.
I'm just saying.
So,
I don't know.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about your favorite team on this podcast, Tom. So, what's your next one for me?
Okay, this or that. We are remaining in the acquisition market. Josh Bell or Brian Reynolds. So
I'll start by saying this.
Pirates, kind of. I mean, Josh Bell's not anymore, but at one point.
Right. This team is bad defensively. I'll start by saying that. Like, really bad. So bad that I had to tweet about it.
So bad I had to tweet about it.
That's saying something. Yeah, they're horrendous in the field. One thing they might be worse at is hitting right-handed pitching.
It's true.
Unless it's Sonny Gray.
Right.
Power-wise, especially, they do not have power numbers against right-handed pitching. Thus why I want Jock Peterson. Thus why I'm going with Josh Bell as the fit here. Gavin Sheets, this obviously is a negative WAR player this year. Some of that has to do with the fielding. He only has a 92 OPS plus. 92 OPS plus for a guy that is a platoon bat. The guy that we're really trying to force against righties only.
Yeah, a platoon bat, but also he plays every day, so
yeah, that too. Right. So woof is what I got to say to that. Let's go with Josh Bell.
I disagree.
I disagree.
And here's the thing. I'm taking Brian Reynolds for the fact that you said, like, okay, you've never heard me say this, Steve, so revel in it. I don't want a first baseman to play the outfield anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Josh Bell wouldn't play. He'd be DH.
Yeah, good luck convincing Tony to stick with one DH and one DH only. Yeah, have fun with that. I write the lineup card. My name's Tony. Actually, I wrote the lineup card.
I'll be honest.
Like I'm about to pass out.
And here's the thing. This is another reason why I don't think Tony's calling as many shots as you think anymore. The lineup card is a lot more consistent over the past couple weeks than it has been in the past.
That's true. It's a big pass. But I'm going with Ryan Reynolds because he's an actual outfielder. So
sound like you said Ryan Reynolds, but it's Brian, right? With the B.
I did say Brian Reynolds, I promise. However, yeah, Ryan Reynolds would be good for the team too. He might increase morale. Just saying. So I'm going with Brian Reynolds for the fact that I want an outfielder to play outfield. I think we both agree if we're going to be, talking in these trade conversations, we would want somebody to replace Gavin out there in the field. That's what we're talking about. That's why we have talked about Gallo or Jock and Bell and Reynolds, right? We would be replacing that position in right field. Could have filled that in free agency, whatever.
Yeah.
But Brian Reynolds is an actual fucking outfielder. So, yeah.
But Josh Bell is actually like a real life major league hitter. Like, and one thing that you always talk about, Tom, what does this team need more of?
Dingers, baby.
And guess who does not hit dingers?
Well, Josh Bell hits for average, bro. Like he's got some pop, but he hits for average.
Really? You want to double check those numbers?
Really? Yeah.
Josh Bell's having a career year, by the way.
Career
year. Trade for the guy that's having a career year and the team that's just going to blow up everything.
You're right. And I hate it. You're right. Okay. We got to go to the next one. We got pitching. Because, we got some problems. We have this or that. Luis Castillo of the Reds or Frankie Montas of the A's. Who would we rather, this or that?
Luis Castillo is the better and healthier option.
Yes.
I would love to have Luis Castillo on this team. It'd be fantastic. However, I don't think that the White Sox have the minor league depth to pull a Luis Castillo. I just don't think they do. Especially with the year that he's having. He's going to demand a lot more. So in realistic terms, it's Frankie Montas. You give up nothing to a team that once again, I know you say that. I know you laugh at that comment. You give up nothing, but you give up nothing. You saw what they gave away Sean Manaea for, right?
Right.
Jack Diddley shit. The guy who the White Sox should have been pursuing in March.
Yeah.
On top of Johnny Cueto, that would have been even better. Johnny Cueto, obviously, stick a feather in Rick Hahn's cap for once, but
Johnny Cueto, greatest of all time.
God, Frankie Montas would be the guy just because he's semi-familiar with the org. He wants to prove something. I think he wants to come back to Chicago or come back to a bigger market team. And Luis Castillo, once again, I just don't know if the White Sox, outside of their top prospect, Colson Montgomery, I don't think they have the depth to do it. I mean, would you do a Lenin Sosa for a Luis Castillo? Would they do a Lenin Sosa for Luis Castillo?
Yeah, you probably would. First of all,
I mean, the White Sox would, but with the Reds is the question.
No, I think you would, because it's not a super long-term contract for Castillo and Lenin.
This year and one more of team control. So
probably both Colson Montgomery and Lenin. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no fucking A.
Burn the already pillaged farm system that we have.
Exactly.
No, Steve, I'm going to go with Luis Castillo, and I'm going to say
he's the better pitcher. I mean,
better pitcher, and I don't give a shit. It's not my team anymore. After we get a World Series, I'm going to
be your team that is just absolutely mortgaged for the present.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm going to cry about it. I'm going to cry about it in 3 years, but I want Luis Castillo. Damn it! I want the better pitcher.
Yeah. So, I agree. Luis Castillo in this rotation would be fantastic, but rotation's not the problem.
No. Well, it wasn't not the problem yesterday.
Well, that's because Lance Lynn is washed.
Speaking of, this or that. This is the trade away segment. Like, who would we rather get rid of if we had the choice? So we've got Lance Lynn or Joe Kelly.
Lance Lynn's the guy I want to get rid of the most, especially if somebody else is going to eat that fucking contract. This dude has pitched like boo-boo since he got his extension. Lance is bad, and so is Joe Kelly. Joe Kelly's been fucking awful. Outside of, I was going to say, the Friday
his most recent outing, I believe.
It was Friday. Yeah. He pitched on Friday, and he actually looked really good. He was mixing in the sinker and the changeup perfectly.
Did we check if he was wearing glasses?
I can't remember if he was. I don't think he was.
He did. That's why.
I don't think he was wearing glasses. However, if he keeps using that, his changeup might be one of his best pitches if he's using it complementary well with the sinker. Lance, yes. Jim Wolf here in the comments. Joe Kelly is trending up. I will agree with that. Yeah, he hasn't been good. He's got to be a little bit more consistent, obviously, and he's got to be better over a longer period of time for me to buy into the Joe Kelly narrative. Lance Lynn for a starter, if some team really wanted to take a chance on him, would be a great guy because he's not super expensive. However, the dude's so washed. I don't even want to talk about how out of shape he is because you're going to call me a fat shamer.
You are.
Of these two, if I were to trade one away, it would obviously be Lance Lynn. He's going to net you more in a trade. So
I hear where you're coming from with all that. I do. And Lance Lynn has not looked good. However, I have faith that he can kind of rebound and, continue to have success with the team. His shit moves, and he doesn't have to deal with velocity
this year.
I know. But I have confidence that will come back. Now, with Joe Kelly,
it's not sticky anymore.
Exactly. And he decided to stop wearing fucking glasses and switch to contacts as soon as he got to our team. What the fuck is that? So that upsets me, first of all, because he was good when he had glasses and now he's not been good. Let's say we trade the guy that is trending up, like Jim Wolf said. Thank you in the comments. I think that makes more sense, that you trade, and also you hypothetically, again, are trading from a position of strength where you trade away Joe Kelly and you still have Graveman and Lamb in the back of the bullpen. So versus, you trade away Lance Lynn and you're like, okay, Vinny Velo, like bring Vince Velasquez back to the lineup. That's not necessarily what you want to do. And you had a shaky Lucas Giolito this season. I wouldn't want to trade away from the starting rotation right now. And I know that Lance isn't the best option, but considering what else we've got, he's the best of a bad bunch at this point for a potential to rebound, I'd say.
I'm almost ready for the Ray Lowe to come back. No, I'm kidding. No,
I
don't want to see him start. I don't want to see him start. I would love his coming in patch job situations.
He's been real good.
He has been really good in his role. So I don't want to move him out of that.
Also, don't sleep on Jose Ruiz. I don't know why.
Jose Ruiz is great, man.
People be talking shit.
Fuck Jordan Miller for hating on Jose Ruiz is what I gotta say, because he is the number one. He was the number one Jose Ruiz hater, but Jose Ruiz is actually solid.
I've always liked him.
All right, you got one more for me, don't you?
Yes. Okay, this or that. We're trading away. We're in that conversation still, and we kind of hinted at it earlier. Then we're going to the farm. EIO. Lenyn Sosa or Colson Montgomery.
It's not even a question. Lenyn's getting traded. And I know, obviously, the sample size we saw in the major leagues is way too small to tell you what kind of player he's going to be. It has nothing to do with his performance on the major league level thus far. That's not where my answer is coming from. Colson Montgomery is sniffing the top 100 finally. Yeah. Like he is a top 100 prospect in baseball. Okay. He's going to be the truth. I'm dead convinced. I'm really, really fucking convinced that the White Sox finally didn't chase some college ready guy, because that's been the MO of all their draft picks lately. Their MO has been, we're going to go for the guy that's already polished up a little bit, that's seen higher competition. Fuck. I mean, it's not even just Carson Fulmer. They constantly went after the college guys. They went after Zach Collins. They went after Andrew Vaughn. I mean, obviously you go after Andrew Vaughn because he's the Golden Spikes winner. They went after Madrigal. TA. I mean, some of these are good hits, but some of them are not. Okay. They finally went after the guy that, hey, with a little bit more development, this guy has potential through the ceiling, right? The ceiling is extremely higher. And I'm happy they did it. Colson has been very, very good. A lot of people are saying that he was a snub for the futures game. The White Sox only had Oscar Colas come out of the bench, who made a nice catch, by the way, in the futures game in center field. I'm keeping Colson, trading Lenyn. If, for example, a team comes to me and they say, hey, we want Colson Montgomery or we want Lenyn Sosa, and I don't like fucking somebody down the line, a Bailey Ober type or whatever his name was. No, not Bailey Ober.
Yeah,
there was these Minnesota Twins. No, there was that guy that they gave up for Tepera last year, whose name I can't even remember. Somebody lower down the top 30 was for the White Sox. I'm gonna say Lenyn and the guy who's lower, because I really, really believe that Colson Montgomery is gonna be good.
I'm with you as well. I'm good to see. I mean, Comrade Lenyn, I'm happy we had him for a second. But we could also use a second baseman of the future, but I think that Colson Montgomery, like you're saying, is really, like, you don't want to give up a first round draft pick when it's hitting like this. So
not this early. No. Definitely not this early. Until red flags start popping up for some reason.
Like, hey, anybody, please.
yeah, exactly.
No, we want to stick with him. I think we agree on that. And remember, we did not bring up Oscar Colas because he's going to start right field in the playoffs this year for us. Let's fucking go. Let's go.
This is where we need to transition to our closing. Tom, do you have any final thoughts before I make a big announcement?
I am really excited to see you on CHGO today. Sorry I couldn't make it again. But I'm amped. I think it's going to be fun for you to be out there, letting the people know, obviously, who you are and why you're fun to listen to. And I think that obviously with this announcement, you're going to be even more out there than you already are. And I'm excited for you, man.
Yeah. For those of you that are still live with us, thank you for joining us live today. So early in the morning, a little bit of coffee talk. If you're already drinking, you might want to get that checked out. I'm kidding. I've definitely started drinking at this hour before. A couple big things. Obviously, today I will be on the CHGO podcast with Sean Anderson live. We're doing pre and post game together in their studio. I'm very, very excited to be with Sean. Great dude. We definitely got to get him on the Suns.
Oh, yeah. That'd be really
That's
fun.
Definitely something we need to do in the future.
He's not busy, is he?
Oh, no, of course not. This man is one of the hardest working people in America. Find value at Farm and Fleet. Do you like that one? But I have one more big announcement to make. That's a little bit more long term. So a teaser episode for a project that I am doing will be dropped soon, along with other information. But I am joining a podcast with a new network by the name of the Believe Network. It's pronounced Believe, but it's spelled BLEAV. The podcast is going to be called, and this is brand new news out in the public, but the podcast is going to be called Believe in the South Side. I will be joined by a guy who has been on our podcast, Tom, I think 3 or 4 times.
Yes.
Guy by the name of Carrie. You can follow him on Twitter at that baseball fan.
Is he actually still at that baseball fan?
He is still at that baseball fan, but the L's are capital I's.
Okay,
so they look like, yeah. So it's actually that base by fan. I give him shit for that all the time because he got his account deactivated for something that he said. So Carrie and I will be joining the Believe Network, Believe in the South Side. We're going to be doing 2 podcasts per week, which is a lot of work, but really looking forward to it. It's the same amount of time. We're going to be doing 30-minute episodes, giving you series recaps, previews, predictions, and a ton of other really fun content and segments that you are not going to want to miss. Because Carrie and I, oh man, we're definitely, we'll say, entertaining together. So this isn't, just to let everybody know too, this is not a goodbye from the Sons of Honarchy for me. I will continue doing the Sons. If anything, this opens up a lot more opportunity for creativity and chances to branch out to other people. And I'm really excited to be taking on this new project. Tom, you've given me your blessings for this, so I really, really appreciate it.
Dude, I'm not only giving you my blessing, I'm really excited to see it and what it's going to be. And obviously so excited for Carrie too. I mean, the guy is just an absolute gem. It's going to be really fun to not only see like you go on to do it, but you guys both, because you guys are both great. And I really enjoy both of you guys. So, all right, before the waterworks, I think we can go on here. I'm excited about it. I know you're excited about it. And the people are certainly going to be excited about it. Believe in the South Side, baby.
Absolutely.
Rate, subscribe, review as soon as it's out. And then
for sure,
unsubscribe and resubscribe again, given that 2-for-1 deal. Let's go.
That worked for me. All right, Tom. As we always say,
in Han, we trust.
Get to 500 before the All-Star break. We must go get a win today, boys. We will see you all back on the podcast airwaves next week. Peace.
Yep, baby.